The chase begins. Jake and Lily's banter-filled romance part 2. Lilly Harper sat at a corner table in the library, her nose buried in a book, trying to drown out the muffled giggles of her friends nearby. Sarah and Emma eventually wandered over, unable to contain their curiosity any longer. "Lily, we heard a little rumor," Sarah teased, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Did Jake really make you a mixtape?" Emma added, leaning in with a knowing grin. Lily glanced up from her book, attempting to appear unfazed by their probing. "Oh, that," she replied with a casual shrug, though a slight blush betrayed her cool demeanor. "It's just something he threw together. No big deal," she said, trying to downplay it. "Oh, come on, Lily," Emma teased, leaning over with a knowing smirk. "You can't seriously expect us to believe you're not melting every time Jake so much as looks your way." "Yeah," Sarah chimed in, her voice dripping with mock sincerity. "We've all seen the way you light up whenever he's around. It's like you're under some kind of spell." Lily rolled her eyes, her expression neutral but her tone sharp. "You're both ridiculous," she said, though a hint of defensiveness crept in. "I'm not cracking up to Jake's charm, and I'm certainly not under any spell." Her friends exchanged a look, their grins widening. "Sure, Lily," Emma said, her voice laced with sarcasm. "Keep telling yourself that." Lily huffed and turned back to her book, but her cheeks burned with the truth she was desperately trying to hide. She was, in fact, slightly smitten with Jake. "Well, you know what they say," Sarah continued, her eyes twinkling with mischief. "The queen of sarcasm always attracts the biggest fan club." Emma nodded enthusiastically. "And it seems like Jake is the president of that club," she added with a laugh. Lily shook her head, feigning indifference, but the warmth in her cheeks betrayed her. "If he's tripping over his own feet trying to impress me, that's his problem, not mine," she retorted, though the small smile tugging at her lips suggested otherwise. Sarah and Emma exchanged a knowing glance, convinced that Lily's attempts to brush off their teasing were just a facade. They could see through her witty comebacks and nonchalant attitude, recognizing the telltale signs of a budding crush that Lily was reluctant to admit. To them, it was clear that beneath her cool exterior, Lily's heart was doing little flips every time Jake's name came up. "Fine, fine," Sarah said with a playful grin, holding up her hands in mock surrender. "We'll stop teasing for now. But just remember, we're here for the inevitable moment when you finally admit it." Emma chuckled, adding, "And when you do, don't worry, we'll be right here to help you plan your wedding with Jake." Lily rolled her eyes again, fighting back a smile as she buried her nose deeper into her book. "You two have overactive imaginations," she muttered, but the way her lips curled upward was a dead giveaway that she secretly enjoyed their banter. Jake sprinted down the track, his heart pounding as he pushed himself to the limit. His friends, fellow members of the outdoor track and field team, watched with a mix of amusement and teasing. Between breaths, they couldn't help but gossip about his latest failed attempts to win over Lily, the queen of sarcasm. "He's never going to learn," Sam chuckled. "Lily's wit is sharper than his spikes," Leo added, shaking his head. Jake, oblivious to their commentary, focused on the finish line, determined to prove himself, if not to Lily, then at least to the stopwatch. As they gathered to cool down, Jake's friends decided it was time for a heart-to-heart. They wanted to offer some advice on how to win Lily's heart, suggesting a more subtle approach. "Why not invite Lily to join our group hike this Saturday?" Sam began. "It'll be a chill way for her to see your fun side." "Yeah, just keep it light and easygoing," Anthony added. But Jake was already lost in thought, imagining a grand romantic gesture. He pictured himself serenading Lily under the stars, strumming a guitar, and winning her over with a heartfelt song. "Sure, a hike sounds good," he replied, "but what if I brought a guitar and sang her favorite song hiking?" The group exchanged glances, a mix of amusement and disbelief on their faces. Sam chuckled, "That's definitely memorable, but maybe a bit much for a first casual outing." "Yeah, you don't want to overwhelm her," Anthony agreed. "Let's ease into that kind of thing." Jake, undeterred, grinned. "I hear you guys, but I think a little music could make it special." He could already see the scene in his mind, a soft melody floating through the air, the clear sky above, and Lily's captivated expression. "Besides," he added, "what's life without a little romance?" Leo sighed and shook his head, a smile playing on his lips. "All right, Romeo. Do what you gotta do," he said, realizing Jake was set on his plan. Anthony shrugged, knowing they'd given their best advice, but accepting that sometimes you just have to let people follow their hearts. As they wrapped up their conversation, the group couldn't help but look forward to seeing how Jake's serenade would play out on their hike. Unfortunately, the upcoming annual school carnival, however, had everyone preoccupied with preparations and left little time for Jake's romantic schemes. The entire school was busy setting up booths, organizing games, and finalizing schedules, leaving Jake with no choice but to shelve his serenade plans for the time being. Despite the chaos, he secretly hoped the carnival would offer another chance to win Lily's attention, perhaps through a shared laugh at the dunk tank or a victorious moment at the ring toss.